Okay, now that we have the concept out of the way in the previous video, specifically looking at major 7 versus diminished 7, let's look at this figured bass. Again, this figured bass is all root position. So whatever the note in the bass is, that is the chord. So if we're in A, we know that A is the 1 chord. So I'll fill that one and that one in. This G is the G natural. And the G natural is from natural minor. So that's actually this chord right here. This 7 major chord. The C, that's this chord. This is 3. F is major 6. D is 4. And now here you can see we have the sharp in the figured bass under the E. That means the third above the bass is raised a half step. And that gives us this chord right here. We have E, G, B would be diatonic. The sharp tells us to put a sharp in front of the third of the chord. That gives us a major 5 chord. Okay, and then when we do our part writing, we're going to have to insert a sharp on the G. I want to start this with some nice space between the voices. Let me just think a second. Yes, I'm going to start with E here. Okay, this bass voice goes up really high, so I actually want to have some space for the tenor to do what it needs to do and not collide with the bass. So this 1 chord is A, C, E. We need 1 of each pitch. We've got A, E, A, and C. These initial pitches could be in any order. Okay? They're just, other than the bass, there has to be another A, another C, and another E. Okay, so now let's work through this. Remember yesterday, or figure bass of the day number 3, we talked about bass movement by step. So here the bass is stepping down, and in order to avoid the parallel fifths, octaves problem, we need to go contrary motion to the bass. Yesterday, the stepwise motions were all ascending and the upper voices had to descend. Now the bass is stepping down, so the lower voices are going to have to ascend. So E goes up to G, A goes up to B, C goes up to D. Okay? We get this sound. Okay, and now we have circle of fifths motion. Okay, so G goes to C. We need C, E, G. We're going to maintain our common tone G. We've got a C. We've got an E. Here we've got an F. We need F, A, C. The smoothest way to move into this would be to take the tenor up to A. But the problem with that is that G is the top note of the tenor range. So we're going to have to do this differently. Okay, this is going to have to be a movement that is less smooth than we're normally seeing, but it's still the smoothest possible one because the tenor can't go higher. So rather than going up to A, the tenor is going to come down to F. Okay, and now we've got F and F. We need an A and a C. Now we have a C right here, but we can't keep that as a common tone. if we do, this E has to leap to A. It would actually be smoother to have the upper voice go to C and this voice go down to A. So this is not very smooth. These are both leaping a third, but it's the best we can do since the tenor has hit the ceiling of G. Okay, so here's what we got. Okay, that's fine. And now we're going from 6 to 4. Some people would point out the direct fifth here. Let's not worry about that right now. Okay, so the 4 is DFA. So right there, F is our common tone. D goes by step. A is a common tone. Super smooth. Now we're going to the 5 chord, E, G sharp, B. The bass is moving by step, so the upper voices have to move contrary motion. There's our 2 E's. The A steps down, and the D goes to B. And we can't forget that we were told to raise the 7th scale degree in the 5 chord. And now we can resolve from 5 to 1. Okay, we'll do it with the smoothest voice leading, which is this common tone, G sharp up to A, and B up to C. So here is our realized figured bass. Briefly, I just want to talk about what happens here. Okay. So over here we get the G sharp, which makes this sound like A minor because it's a leading tone to A minor. Over here we use G natural. Okay. If we look at this progression right here, and if we just heard that by itself, that actually sounds like 5-1 in the key of C major. Okay. And A minor and C major are relative keys. So when we use the 7th scale degree, the lowered 7th scale degree and the major 7 chord built on it, it's usually acting like a 5 chord to C major. So 7 will usually go to 3. Okay, it's a very particular way that this chord, known as the subtonic 7 chord or the major 7 chord, is used. Now, if you listen to this, think about the key of A minor. Sounds minor, right? Of course. But now if I play this, hear how it sounds major now? Still sounds major, still sounds major, but then that chord comes in and it's like, oh, we actually weren't in C major, we were in A minor. Okay, that can be used for sort of narrative or dramatic effect. You start out sad, things get better, but in the end, it all goes to hell. Right? Good life story there. All right. So, does that make sense? We're going to talk about this more and more as we continue. Next week, we will have 5 figured basses, and we will introduce first inversion chords. All of our figured bass so far has been root position. Okay, so we're going to add first inversion chords, which essentially doubles the possibility for the numbers of chords. And first inversion chords do interesting things in the texture. I will record a short concept video about that on Monday, and then we'll have a series of figured basses to practice working on that. All right, that's all for now. If you have any questions, of course, email me or text me. And I guess this is a YouTube video, so I'm required to say, why don't you smash like, subscribe, and notifications. Sorry, just kidding about that. All right, see you later.